Pick up all 3 of the Eden series on Amazon.com.
It's me, the D-O-double-G. Welcome to the Eden Army Podcast with your host tonight, Pete Robert Tucci.
Let's go, Eden Army. What's going on? Thanks for being here on a Friday night. We got a lot of stuff going on. Well, with that being said, though, I didn't have much time to look at current events and things like that. But what I did want to talk about real quick is, have you guys noticed all the, I'm not even going to say pro-Palestinian, because it's not pro-Palestinian, it's pro-terrorist groups that are protesting all over the country at these highfalutin universities. Donors are fleeing like you would not believe. So keep an eye out for that. What I did notice as I was kind of cycling through the news is that with all that going on, we're not hearing much about the war in Israel right now. Why do you think that is? We're also not hearing much about the war in Ukraine. Why do you think that is? I'm going to tell you why it is. It's because the Democrats right now are getting serious blowback from the pro-terrorist groups. So they have used their propaganda arm, which is the media, to say stop showing so much war footage from Israel. The offensive is still going on. It's not like there's a ceasefire happening right now. It's still going. But they've asked them to dial it back a little bit. Dial it back because we're losing voters because of this. And you say, well, why have we not seen much war footage on the local news or on the nationwide news about Ukraine? Because the Ukrainians are getting their asses kicked right now, and we're dumping money like there's no tomorrow into that war. That the Ukrainians, that war is only going to end when Russia wants it to end. No matter how much money we give them, no matter how much small arms we give them, that war is only going to end when Russia wants it to end. Now, I heard the Biden administration say it's in our national interest to make sure that Russia doesn't win that war. If it's really in our national interest, honestly, if it's in our national interest, then give them the arms they need to win the war. Give them planes, give them fighters, give them sufficient air defense against Russia, who has air superiority right now in Ukraine, and yes, give them medium and long-range missiles so they can strike back at Russia. But the fact of the matter is, it's not in our national interest. What's in our national interest is for that war to continue on, so they can continue to redisperse our money overseas. So, when you start to see on the news that the wars must be calming down because they're not showing it so much on the news, remember that, guys. So, other than that, what is going on? I appreciate all you guys being here. We do have a few things, and again, I'm not going to dive into any more news because we do have kind of a full show now. Just like I told you in the little promo video today, we are taking auditions for the Audible release of the entire Eden series, books 1, 2, and 3. So what I'm going to do, just like I do with all this stuff during my journey into writing, I'm going to ask you guys for help. Okay, I don't know it all. I'm not going to pretend to know it all, but I'm going to let you listen to some of my favorite auditions, about 30 seconds of each. It's not going to be a big deal. I've got 5 of them. Maybe a little more. Maybe I'll give you a little more than 30 seconds because there are some other character parts I want you to kind of hear so you can hear the range of the actors. But remember, and if you're able to, I'll tell you which narrator it is. I'll give you their last name. Write it down because at the end of all 5, Russ is going to put up a poll on the screen, and I want you guys to tell me which one you liked. And then we're gonna go from there. Now, look, I will have the final say. Don't get me wrong. And I say I'll have the final say. You know, my wife will have the final say. But your input is always important to me. Just like Eden Army, that name came from Christy. book 3. So just be aware that I want to take you guys on this journey with me, because again, this is all new to me. So I want to take you guys on the ride, because you guys have been a hell of a supporting cast for me. So I certainly appreciate that. But let's talk. Russ, I'm going to turn your mic on in case you want to jab in. Russ, as always, is in the background, jibber jabbering in my ears. So I went ahead and turned your mic on, Russ, so you are there. Let's run through. Let's see. I'm going to run through chat real quick before we get started, guys. How's everyone doing tonight? Terry, I saw that you were in bright and early. Hey, just because Russ says he's the first one in, don't let him fool you. He's behind the scenes producing and stuff like that. So
I'm always in first.
Oh, let's see. I see guys in the house. Christy's in the house. Will. Opie. Botrix. Thanks for showing up, Botrix. You're a hell of a person. AI. Terry's in the house. Who else?
Yeah, Opie, I got his 6.
Oh, he's got my 6. Just looking through chat. Agnes, did you change your username? Looks like you did. Agnes gifted us. Russ, did you see that Agnes gifted a subscription? I don't know how she did that.
I did see that.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that happened, but thank you very much, Agnes. Let's see who else we got in the house. Bada bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. Did mention Terry, Corey, and Chris.
Tucci is
Good
in
to
the
see
house.
you, Chris. Mama Tooch is in the house. Hey, Mama. Taking up my bandwidth over there. Dan's in the house. Hey, Dan. Dan's got a surprise for us at Mountain Readiness also. Maybe I'll find that and pop it up on the screen. Tell me what you guys think of that also. Since you guys, like I said, are my supporting cast, and I'm not doing anything without you guys knowing. Oh, I see. All right, Agnes. I got you. Good. So 24 viewers in the house right now on Kick alone. So good. No telling what's going on the other platforms
how's
yet.
everything going on the other platforms?
Yeah. But if anybody's on the other platforms, we primarily stream on kick.com. But let me tell you guys, when you subscribe and stuff like that, you say, "Oh, Pete's in it for the for the money or whatever." I reinvest all that. So what we've actually done is we went ahead and bought a Starlink system. So while we're in the North 40, we're still going to be able to do our podcasts. And then also, Russ, what's the name of this Restream.
Restream, yeah.
I signed up for a subscription in Restream, so I'm able to stream to all the platforms seamlessly, and that way it doesn't use as much bandwidth out of my computer. It actually goes through them. So we are reinvesting. We always reinvest our stuff. We're not in it to make $1 million. We're no Stephen King or all that stuff. But Javi's in the house. Mama Teresa's in the house.
Yeah. Javi's behind enemy lines.
Javi, I know. If you need an evac or something, pop a flare, Javi. Because I know you're in the communist northeast right now. I don't want to give away your exact position, New York City. But good luck. Good luck to you, brother. Because I know you're not strapped up there, allegedly. So, anyway.
He flew too, so I know that ain't happening.
Yeah, exactly. So, Javi with a J, Opie says. So, hopefully the stream is coming through all right. Seems like Starlink is working good. Seems like Restream is working good. So, that's awesome. Guy, I don't know if I mentioned Guy.
So, what's the flavor of the night?
Tonight.
What's the flavor of tonight?
I just started. Tonight we're doing Knob Creek. So I've told you guys this before, but I am so mortified of doing these podcasts that typically about 5 minutes before I'll do a shot and then I'll sip through the podcast. You guys know my MO by now. So, but the good news is, I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but this diet thing this is basically a starvation diet that Melissa's put me on. I call it the Ethiopian diet, for those of you that are old enough to remember the Ethiopian crisis. It has cut 13 pounds from me, so I'm not sure exactly what she's trying to do. She's trying to bring me back to my 20-year-old Pete, but whatever it's doing, it's working, I guess. Meta's in the house. Hey, Meta. Good. Everything's looking good. I like it.
Yeah,
So,
and, so when we were down there with you, we decided we were going to try something similar. I am now at under 240 pounds, which I ain't seen in probably 15 years.
there you go. So Melissa's having an impact on all of the Eden Army. And the good news is I'm not even grumpy anymore. So this is a good thing. But I know that's what I it's funny because that's exactly what I told Russ, that I have let me throw that one up there real quick, Russ. Oh, not that one. This one. Yeah. Not that one. There you go. I do definitely have a face for radio. I get it. I was putting my microphone up here like this to try to hide it, Opie, but Russ says I need to drop it down a little bit, so I did. So there you go. So let's dive right into it, guys. If you have any questions, concerns, remember I'm gonna give you a snippet of 5 narrators, and I want you to remember their last name, write it down, because at the end we'll have a poll that'll come up while we're just shooting the BS. Now that poll is only going to stay up for 5 minutes, so get your vote in. And for those of you that are watching on the other platforms, you're not going to be able to vote on the poll, I don't think. So a good reason to get over to kick.com/Pete-Robertucci. Let's dive into it, shall we? And we don't have to. We can either go 50-50 with this, Russ, or go 50-50 with chat. How about
Why
that?
not? Why
and
not?
I'll just do the audio. Let me see here. Yeah, we'll do this one right here, Russ. I got you. You're on the screen, Russ. You're live. You're up.
Okay.
You look good.
Holy cow.
There you go. All right, so.
Yep, in lovely Aiken, South Carolina.
This first narrator, now look, we got a lot of auditions. I've highlighted 5 right now, and we'll full send 30 seconds of them, and then if we need to go back and do a little change of characters, there's another spot in the audition where they can change it. So here we go. Listen up. This is Ennis, Ennis is the last name. I'll type it in here so you guys can remember. Maybe I won't. I changed my mind. I'm not doing it. Ennis. Here we go. Type in Ennis and then post it.
Yep. Chapter 1, Beginning. I kissed Melissa on the cheek before leaving the house with my mini-me and Lakin. We were heading out for our yearly hike on the Florida Trail. Typically, she hated waking up early, but when it came to hiking or fishing, she was the first out of bed. By the time I had walked to the front door, Lakin already had her pack loaded and placed in the back seat. Sawyer, my dog, sprinted to the front door as I opened it. You keep an eye on things around here, buddy. You're sitting this one out.
Let me pause this real quick, guys. I'm sorry. Now, we need to bear in mind, look, we are all used to the voice of the apocalypse, Mr. Kevin Pierce, and we're used to guys like Duke Fontaine from the Angry American books, right? And remember, these guys need to be tweaked a little bit. I need to tell them faster, slower, like my wife tells me, faster, slower, whatever, this, that, the other thing, and then give them a little more inflection in their voice or whatever. So just bear that in mind when you're listening to these folks. Sorry.
Sitting this one out, I said as I rubbed the top of his head. He gave a whine. I took that as his way of understanding what I was telling him rather than a gesture of disappointment. When will you guys be back, and where are you hiking this time? Melissa asked as she handed me a cup of coffee for the ride. Expect us back in about 3 days. We'll be heading north out of Juniper Springs. I always gave her a vague itinerary whenever we left for our hikes. It made her feel better. Plus, in case of an emergency, she would know where to send the search party. I snatched up my pack and met my baby girl at the Jeep. I zipped.
All right, that was a minute of Mr. Ennis. Didn't sound bad. He was one of my favorites so far. So that was Ennis. Next one's going to be Nicolaisen. Nicolaisen. I don't know. We're going to have to change his name if we decide to work together. But let's roll with him. So what are you guys thinking? Are you hearing that okay? Is it coming through all right? For Sue.
No,
I can only imagine Sue.
Chapter 1. Beginning.
He's done some of that.
I kissed Melissa on the cheek before leaving the house with my mini-me Lakin. We were heading out for our yearly hike on the Florida Trail. Typically, she hated waking up early, but when it came to hiking or fishing, she was the first out of bed. By the time I had walked to the front door, Lakin already had her pack loaded and placed in the back seat. Sawyer, my dog, sprinted to the front door as I opened it. "You keep an eye on things around here, buddy. You're sitting this one out," I said as I rubbed the top of his head. He gave a whine. I took that as his way of understanding what I was telling him, rather than a gesture of disappointment. "When will you guys be back, and where are you hiking this time?" Melissa asked as she handed me a cup of coffee for the ride. "Expect us back in about 3 days. We will be heading north out of Juniper Springs." I always gave her a vague...
Okay, so that's a minute of whatever the hell that guy's name is.
I think it's Nicholson.
Nicholson. Okay, so that's again, that's just we got to understand we need to bring these guys up to speed. And believe me, I've already routed out or got rid of the really bad ones. But we will... No, Rev just showed up. Rev, you already missed 2 narrators. So
yeah, if you can't be here on time, be here when you can.
Yeah, so just vote. We'll see how they do, and again, we'll have to tutor them into what we envision as fans. But we'll go with that. Before we go to number 3, let's do this, Russ. Before we go to 3, I'm gonna let that soak for those first 2 soak for a minute, because I'm pretty sure everyone likes the first one best. But Mount Readiness, if you're gonna be there, we are going to actually have some swag to give away. I think Russ might have dibs on this already, but I haven't quite figured that out yet. But this, and also that charcuterie board, which you're going to see right here from Gorilla Customs. Russ, go ahead and run that.
Are you looking for top quality custom promotional products to elevate your brand? Look no further than Gorilla Customs. At Gorilla Customs, we specialize in crafting premium company promotional products that make lasting impressions. Whether you need custom hats to showcase your logo, or patches that exude your brand's identity, they've got you covered. But that's not all. We also offer unique and personalized items like our custom charcuterie boards, perfect for your corporate gifts, client appreciation, or special events. These are handcrafted boards that add a touch of elegance to any occasion. With Gorilla Customs, you can trust that every product is meticulously crafted with attention to detail and the highest quality materials. Our team works closely with you to bring your vision to life, ensuring that your brand stands out from the crowd. So why wait? Contact Gorilla.
All right, Gorilla Customs. Thanks for putting that together for us. And you guys saw a picture of the charcuterie board we're gonna be giving away over there at Mountain Readiness. Okay. So we've got Ennis squared away. We've got Nicholson. And let's go to Peterson next. What do you say, Russ?
Sure. That was actually one of the ones I liked.
No swaying the audience.
Just
Chapter 1. Beginning. I kissed Melissa on the cheek before leaving the house with my mini-me, Lakin. We were heading out for our yearly hike on the Florida Trail. Typically, she hated waking up early, but when it came to hiking or fishing, she was the first out of bed. By the time I had walked to the front door, Lakin already had her pack loaded and placed in the back seat. Sawyer, my dog, sprinted to the front door as I opened it. "You keep an eye on things around here, buddy. You're sitting this one out," I said, as I rubbed the top of his head. He gave a whine. I took that as his way of understanding what I was telling him, rather than a gesture of disappointment. "When will you guys be back, and where are you hiking this time?" Melissa asked, as she handed me a cup of coffee for the ride. "Expect us back in about 3 days. We'll be heading north out of Juniper Springs." I always gave her a vague itinerary.
All right, that was Mr. Peterson. Not too bad, and it sounds like you're right. He does sound, Will, like he is professional. Sounds like he's in an actual studio, which I kind of dig. And he's got the voices. And honestly, the real game changer for this is when we start doing Chief's voice and see which one can actually nail that. Yeah, well, Finch, that was actually me. I just put a whole bunch of compression on my microphone, so I sounded like a narrator. No, I'm kidding. All right, so next is Mr. Conbran.
Conbran.
Chapter 1. Beginning. I kissed Melissa on the cheek before leaving the house with my mini-me, Lakin. We were heading out for our yearly hike on the Florida Trail. Typically, she hated waking up early, but when it came to hiking or fishing, she was the first out of bed. By the time I had walked to the front door, Lakin already had her pack loaded and placed in the back seat. Sawyer, my dog, sprinted to the front door as I opened it. "You keep an eye on things around here, buddy. You're sitting this one out," I said as I rubbed the top of his head. He gave a whine. I took that as his way of understanding what I was telling him rather than a gesture of disappointment. "When will you guys be back and where are you hiking this time?" Melissa asked as she handed me a cup of coffee for the ride. "Expect us back in about 3 days. We will be heading north out of Juniper Springs." I always gave her a vague itinerary whenever we left for our hikes. It made her feel better.
So that's Mr. Conbran. He's not bad. And there's also another spot I'll let you guys listen to a little bit where he does use another, all of them actually use another female voice, which may help you decide a little bit. All right, so that was Conbran. Hopefully you guys heard that. Sounds a little muffled, Terry. Okay. Yeah, it sounded, yeah, I guess you're probably right. Sounded a little compressed. Next one is Mr. Steve Quinn. Let's see what he says. They all gave me a little message also. Quinn says, "Hey Peter, thanks so much for taking the time to listen to my audition. I hope you like it. I would love to work with you on producing this series for audio. If you'd like to hear more samples, check me out on Audible or my website at stephenquinnvo.com. Take care, Steve." Oh, anyway, that's the message he sent me. And here he is.
Chapter 1. Beginning. I kissed Melissa on the cheek before leaving the house with my mini-me, Lakin. We were heading out for our yearly hike on the Florida Trail. Typically, she hated waking up early, but when it came to hiking or fishing, she was the first out of bed. By the time I had walked to the front door, Lakin already had her pack loaded and placed in the back seat. Sawyer, my dog, sprinted to the front door as I opened it. "You keep an eye on things around here, buddy. You're sitting this one out," I said, as I rubbed the top of his head. He gave a whine. I took that as his way of understanding what I was telling him, rather than a gesture of disappointment. "When will you guys be back, and where are you hiking this time?" Melissa asked, as she handed me a cup of coffee for the ride. "Expect us back in about 3 days. We'll be heading north out of Juniper Springs." I always gave her a vague itinerary whenever we left for our hikes. It made her feel better. Plus, in case of an emergency, she would know where to send them.
There you go. That's Mr. Stephen Quinn. So, guys, if you want to hear another one, tell me. I got more. I got about, not as far as more narrators. We're only going to do those 5, but there is more to the audition. So, yeah, it is tough, and that's why I'm bringing it to you guys, Will, so you can help me make this decision. I mean, ultimately, I'll make the final decision, but, it helps because this is going to be the guy that's going to be in book 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many it goes. So if I can build a professional relationship with him, then it's going to make all of us happy. So,
Well,
all right. Any thought before we put up? We won't put the poll up right now. We'll wait a little while, but I'll let them stew on it a little bit and let them think. And if you guys want to hear any more of any one of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, tell me, and I'll give you a little more. What's up, Russ?
Yeah, well, what was it? Let me see if I find it again. the trouble with the female voices. Even Duke Fontaine and Kevin Pierce have trouble with female voices. Unless you have two narrators, one narrator that does female voices and one that does the male voices, you're not going to get a full-blown female voice.
Yeah, and you know,
So
Jeff
it's the-
Moats did that in his books, and I didn't like it. But look, to be honest with you, when I first heard Kevin Pierce after hearing Duke Fontaine, I hated him.
Yeah.
But now that I'm used to him, I like him. So just remember who you like, because we will, Agnes, put a poll up here in a little bit. So let's see. I got a request to play from an OG. I got a request to play Ennis, Peterson, and Quinn. So let's go to, let me find the right spot for you guys, because this will give a female voice also.
You two today.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. We're going to go to 140. Okay. This is Ennis.
It was a straight shot down State Road 40 for about an hour until we entered Ocala National Forest. After we entered the forest, we drove for a few more minutes, then turned right into Juniper Springs State Park. What can I do for you two today? The park ranger greeted us as I pulled up to the guard shack. Hello, we're here to hit the FT for about 3 days, I said as I reached for my wallet. North or south? Ranger Barb asked. North, I replied. Any bear activity recently? She looked through a stack of papers on the desk, finally finding the one she wanted. She held it close to her face, trying to get the letters to come into focus. Nope, you're good northbound. That'll be $15. I gave her a 10 and a 5.
There you go. So that's a little bit of a female voice, southern female voice for Ennis. Let's go to Peterson next. I think somebody asked for. He did kind of a little bit a southern female voice, a hee-haw. Let's see.
4 minutes, then turned right into Juniper Springs State Park. What can I do for you two today? The park ranger greeted us as I pulled up to the guard shack. Hello, we're here to hit the FT for about 3 days, I said as I reached for my wallet. North or south? Ranger Barb asked. North, I replied. Any bear activity recently? She looked through a stack of papers on the desk, finally finding the one she wanted. She held it close to her face, trying to get the letters to come into focus. Nope, you're good northbound. That'll be $15.
That's kind of a female voice, I guess. Now, all of them do a bit of Lakin's voice, but they have her all sounding really, really young. And I don't quite want that, so I'm not even going to play that because I think it's going to skew your thought process there. So that's as much of a female voice as he had, except for the very beginning, Terry.
It's Melissa on the cheek before leaving the house with my mini-me, Lakin. We were heading out for our yearly hike on the up early, but when it came to hiking or fishing, she was the first out of bed. By the time I had walked to the front door, Lakin already had her pack loaded and placed in the back seat.
Trying to get Melissa's voice.
Sawyer, my dog, get around here, buddy. And I took that as his way of disappointment. When will you guys be back, and where are you hiking this time? Melissa.
That's Melissa's voice, apparently. So that's Ennis, and of course we can tweak him a little bit, guys. But now we drive we're steering the ship here. Don't forget. So, okay, so let's get to Peterson with the lady at the guard shack at Juniper Springs and see where we're at there.
That ended at State Road 40 on the west side of Ormond Beach. Turning left, it was a straight shot down State Road 40 for about an hour until we entered Ocala National Forest. After we entered the forest, you two today, the park ranger State Park. What can I do for you two today? The park ranger greeted as I pulled up to the guard shack. Hello, we're going to hit the FT for about 3 days, I said as I reached for my wallet. North or south? Ranger Barb asked. North, I replied. Any bear activity recently? She looked through a stack of papers on the desk, finally finding the one she wanted.
Mike.
She held it close to her face, trying to get the letters to come into focus. Nope, you're good northbound. That'll be $15. I gave her a 10 and a 5.
There you go. So that's the female voice there. Yeah, Michael. They will fix that. I promise you. Just like Duke used to say, Umatilla. That used to make me want to reach through the the radio and throttle him, right? I'm a Florida boy, so I know it's Umatilla. When he says Umatilla, I just wanted to give him a good beating. So, all right, so that was from Peterson. And then I think, let me look back. Who was the other one?
Quinn was the next one.
Which one?
Quinn.
Quinn.
It
Somebody
was
wanted
Quinn.
to hear. Okay.
Side of Ormond Beach. After we entered the forest, we drove. What can I do for you two? Then turned right into Juniper Springs State Park. What can I do for you two today? The park ranger greeted us as I pulled up to the guard shack. Hello. We're going to hit the FT for about 3 days, I said, as I reached for my wallet. North or south? Ranger Barb asked. North, I replied. Any bear activity recently? She looked through a stack of papers on the desk, finally finding the one she wanted. She held it close to her face, trying to get the letters to come into focus. No, you're good northbound. That will be $15.
See, I don't like. I like that. I like that one. So that was the only one, and then the other one I'm going to play for you guys is Mr. Conbran.
For about 3 days. State Park. What can I do for you two today? The park ranger greeted us as I pulled up to the guard shack. Hello, we're going to hit the FT for about 3 days, I said as I reached for my wallet. North or south? Ranger Barb asked. North, I replied. Any bear activity recently? She looked through the stack of papers on the desk, finally finding the one she wanted. She held it close to her face, trying to get the letters to come into focus. Nope, you're good northbound. That'll be $15.
So not horrible, I didn't think. What do you guys think? And then I put all 3 books, auditions for all 3 books, and there's only a few of them that actually did all 3. And I think I wouldn't be doing Mr. Conbran, I wouldn't be doing right by him if I didn't also do a little bit from book 3. Because I think this might sway some of y'all's decision. I think we can certainly... I agree, Will. He does sound better in that selection. So Mr. Conbran here, book 3 at the beginning.
Sierra Hotel Tango Foxtrot. It was already bustling with activity. Carts and wheelbarrows were pushed and pulled by locals that needed to trade their goods for something more useful. I was surprised to see that the gates to the driveway were already guarded by the gun store guys who had helped liberate the Kennel Club from the occupiers just a day earlier.
Not much of a fan of that part.
Told me it would be a good time to take a break. The heavy tactical vest I had been wearing for a few days straight was slowly beginning to win the battle against the flesh on my shoulder. Built for this apocalypse, I whispered to myself. One guard broke away from his duty at the gate and walked toward me. I could tell he recognized me by his non-aggressive
You'll have to
approach,
send me those.
but I couldn't remember his
those
name.
other 2
You
pieces.
look like shit, he said. I nodded and unslung my rifle, placing it up against the fence. Yeah, it's been a long couple of days, I told him. I'm surprised you guys are up so early. The man looked around at the people slowly streaming by.
Let me pause this real quick. Yeah, I know, not a big fan, but I want you to hear the dialogue with the other guy first. I know, I get it, guys, I get it, but I want you to hear how he kind of changes a little bit with the dialogue with the guard.
The 2 remaining guards and said, "These people need this market to stay open. It's become the local grocery store, Walmart, and Home Depot all wrapped into one. Without refrigeration, people need to shop daily without worrying about riots, theft, or being mugged for the few things they had left in the shithole of a world. Have you had any blowback from the..." I nodded in the direction of the dog track, not wanting to say any more about it aloud, for fear of the crowd walking by overhearing. The guard shifted uneasily and glanced around. He shook his head. Nah, they've been going in and out all night with Humvees. We expect they'll press us a little bit, but I don't think they want to lose any more soldiers in this area. Once they reinforce, it could get a little bit nasty around here. We expect they may want some vengeance, but we'll deal with that when it comes. Well, when that comes, make sure Jake gets a hold of me. We owe you guys. You didn't have to get involved in our fight, but you did anyway, and I appreciate that, I told him honestly. He shrugged his shoulders and shifted the weight of his rifle from one hand to the other. Nah, we needed help. It was only a matter of time before they would have tried to seize the store. I think Jake was happy that the opportunity presented itself when it did. It also didn't hurt that you guys are a pretty badass group of fighters, he smiled.
Okay, so you're right. He is kind of monotone at the beginning, but I like the dialogue I like the way he changed a little bit. So anyway, that's why I start him. Definitely maybe not my favorite. I don't know yet, but we may get him to where he needs to be. I don't know if we decide to go with him. So that's all 5 of those. Before we put that poll up, Russ, let's go ahead and pay some bills with those boys at Mountain Readiness, shall we?
Alrighty.
Other part was kind of sing-songy.
Sorry, I know I was muted. My bad. So yeah, that's those
Falling
were
down on the job.
I know Russ didn't remind me. I apologize, guys.
No, that I fell down on the job for not reminding you.
But what we'll do is we'll have them actually read another scene. I want them to read a scene with Chief Brian Clayton and see how they do with that. I'll give them specific directions for that. I'll give them specific directions for Lakin and Melissa, and then I also want to hear them read a military scene, an actual action scene. So that's going to be my criteria. Hope you guys agree. No barking. There won't be any sound effects. All right, we're not going to do that. There won't be any coffee makes me poop stuff. So we'll do it. I know I fixed and muted, guys. So, all right. So now that's all I had. Now we just shoot the crap, and we'll wait for Russ here in a little bit to put that poll together. And then if you have any questions, or if you just want to talk about these cats, you want to hear anything more from them, by all means, tell me, and we could get them going. Yeah, I do have kind of an idea of who Chief looks like. And I envision him as a Tom Sizemore character, except a little skinnier, but with the voice of Gunny Sergeant. So that is...
Like Gunny Hideaway or Gunny... Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's my... Chief could look like Sam Elliott. Yeah, that would work. Also, Rev, I don't dispute that. No, I just sent them parts and pieces meta. Let me pop that up real quick. I just sent them whatever I wanted them. And here's the deal, meta. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I had never dealt with narrators before. Sorry, Russ. But
gotta warn me, brother.
I know. I'm sorry. So I just kind of sent them the first couple of paragraphs. You're turning it on. I'm turning it off. There you go. Perfect. Leave it there. First couple of paragraphs. You're in control of that now, Russ. And then they do their thing. And then once I really wanted to hear what kind of quality their audio was actually bringing to the table. Were they in a studio? Were they in their garage? And you can certainly tell with some of the submissions I got. So, yeah. So those are the ones I picked that were the most, what I felt were the most professional sounding. So, but yeah. Yeah, I think you're right, Teresa. I'm leaning toward Ennis and Conbran a little bit, but I did not mind, what's that other cat's name? I honestly didn't
Peterson.
mind, let me go to my starred ones.
Peterson or Quinn?
Quinn. I really didn't mind Quinn, and I didn't like him all that much until just now, and I'm not exactly sure why that is.
Well, all 5 of them were heads and shoulders above the first one you sent us.
Yeah. I think you're probably right. Gunny, Arlie Remy?
Arlie Emery.
Remery, okay. All right. So anyway, that's kind of what I envision, like the drill sergeant type that kind of is a real pain in the ass. That's kind of how I envision him, and I kind of, I don't mind the Rev. I think you might be right. Sam Elliott would be pretty close, minus the mustache. No, you can't vote, Terry. You're swaying votes now. We're gonna put a poll up here in a second, so don't be swaying the peanut gallery. Terry's OG, so she thinks she can just start throwing her weight around in chat, I think.
I see that. Got those 2 stripes up there, and she thinks he's OG.
Yeah, she is definitely OG. She when I was doing the testing with all this stuff way back when I first started, nervous as all get out, I was testing. She'd pop in on Discord and give me some. No, don't be sorry. I'm just picking on you, Terry. She would pop in and go, no, that doesn't sound right, or no, that sounds good, and so she is definitely OG, and I certainly value her opinion. That's for sure. Right behind that of my wife. So there you go. Rev Finch says he doesn't do audio. Well, a lot of people do, Rev. A lot of people drive a lot, and I get called. Look, I just put that little intro out today for the podcast, and immediately my phone blew up. When's the date? When's the Audible coming out? I go, no, you didn't. First of all, you didn't watch the whole promo for tonight's podcast because I said we're taking auditions.
They're eager beavers.
They are, and I appreciate that. But like I said, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, so I'm a one-man show. I'm flying by the seat of my pants, and we're trying to put the best product out we can. And don't get me wrong, I've messaged Kevin Pierce. So, hey, you want to do this? But look, Kevin's making a lot of money with Horton and Craven. He's not going to mess around with my little book here, so... but here's the thing. When I'm driving, that's all I do. I don't listen to radio stations, news, all that stuff. All I do is listen to books. So, yeah, I prefer them also. Melissa prefers reading them, which I get, but I prefer actually listening to them, and I can still get engrossed in the book while I'm driving. So, and it keeps me awake sometimes. So, let's put up one that. Let's put up a random one. We're not going to vote on this guy. I'm not even going to tell you his name, but I'm just going to cycle through and find a random one. Let's find this cat.
Chapter 1. Beginning. I kissed Melissa on the cheek before leaving the house with my mini-me, Lakin. We were heading out for our yearly hike on the Florida Trail. Typically, she hated waking up early, but when it came to hiking or fishing, she was the first out of bed.
I'm not feeling it. Let's see. Can you make both the male and female doing one book for the different? Now, Terry, we just talked about that earlier. I was probably muted though. Jeff Moats did that, and he did it fairly successfully. I didn't quite enjoy it. And here's the deal with that is, I want to have one narrator for the entire series. So now that you're locking down 2 pieces of talent, it's going to be tough to lock both of them down for the entire series. Because there's nothing worse than getting 4 books into a series where you're listening to it and then the 5th book has a complete different narrator. It just, forget it. It doesn't work for me. So.
Exactly.
But Jeff Moats did that, and he did it successfully. And his Once Upon the Apocalypse, I think, is that series. So
I think so.
All
you know,
right.
Teresa actually looked into doing that for female writers, and she actually talked to Kevin about it a couple times, and we just hadn't been able to get back to it. She would do really well at that, I think.
I agree. Michael, yeah, that's all I do. Mr. Lamont, that's all I do is audio for the most part. Now, I'm weird, though. I'll buy, to support Chris or whomever, Franklin, I'll buy the book, and then I'll also download the audio just because it's one of the weird things I do. So, I find it hard to believe, Finch, that you get distracted easily.
Who, Finch?
Yeah,
no,
I find that hard to believe.
It ain't so.
So
that's just his old timers kicking in.
Yeah, his Alzheimer's, right? I'm not going to sway it. I do have a couple I'm leaning toward. I haven't decided 100%, but there are a couple that I really like. Kelly Mercer's in the house. Kelly, she likes audio only also. So yeah, I know it's weird. I don't understand. I've got the entire Angry American box set, and I never cracked it open yet, just because I listened to it all on Audible. So it's one of those weird things we do. That's why we're such a close knit tribe, I guess, right? I guess we're a tribe. Are we?
Absolutely.
All right. Throw it up. Throw up the vote.
All right. Well, hold on.
Take your time.
It didn't say. Well, let's see here. Hold on here. I got to type in the names again. Oh, it saved them. Awesome.
Don't forget 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Dan, I just got your email. Dan, I got your email. I'll be home Friday or Sunday evening, sir.
All right, and here we go, folks. If everybody's ready, go ahead and cast your votes as soon as it pops up.
Let's see. We've never tried this before, so.
Yeah, I'm lagging. My chat is lagging over on this side.
I am a little bit too. It's up right now, though, it looks like. So if you're on Kick, you'll be able to vote. If you're not, I don't think you will be able to, unfortunately. So moral of the story is get over to kick.com.
Absolutely.
Okay. We got, looking at real time. Man, this is almost like the presidential election.
Oh.
The last 5 minutes, we're going to get everything for Mr. Nicholson.
All right. I'm going to refresh my screen there. There it is. Now it's showing. Oh, wow.
Surprising.
That's pretty cool.
A little countdown timer. So that's going to be up for 5 minutes. So take your time, soak it in, think about it, and interesting.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Let me find that thing that Dan is making for us while we're doing that. Let me download that, Dan. Dan, is it all right if I share your proof?
People are changing their votes.
No, I don't think you can.
Should? I don't know if they can. Let's see. 6, 8, 11 votes in so far.
No mail-in ballots, you're right? No hanging chads, Opie. So while we're voting, Dan is going to make us something for mountain readiness. It's going to be Dan's a machine. He's let's see if I can pop this up there. Let's go. There's so many tabs here now. Let's
Let's
here.
go.
Gotcha. I got it.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a skirt for the table that he's making. It'll go in front of our display table with all of our merch. So hopefully you guys dig that. And I'm sure it's going to turn out perfect because the guy is a machine when it comes to marketing and promotion. So hope you guys like that. I know I dig it.
That's pretty cool. That'll look nice in front of your table.
Mm-hmm. Let's go over here, see where the voting is. Let's go 50-50. Nope. Let's chat. There we go. Yeah, I like that, Terry. This guy's an artist. Dan, it's too bad you didn't do narrations. You probably nail that too.
I'm trying to remember. Do you remember, Pete, if James said he was going to be there at Mount Readiness?
Who's that?
James, the kid, the meat guy.
I don't think he is.
Yeah, I don't think he is either. I think he said something else was going on. The guy that was working with Pork Chop.
Opie, let me see here what Opie says here. Yeah. Actually, I made some prints of the life-size covers, but they're a little bigger, and they'll be behind the table out there. So we'll see you'll have all three of those.
Will must be laughing at me by calling him James the meat guy, but that's what I have him on my phone as.
Back to kick. Where are we at? All right. The poll is almost over. If you haven't got your vote in, look, there's a tie between Ennis and Conbran.
Yeah.
There's got to be somebody else to vote. If you haven't voted for the narrator, do it now. Time is running out. How much time is left? Can't tell.
We have 12 people. How many do you have in cake? 27.
20.
There's a lot of people that haven't voted.
I'm showing 29.
A lot of people hadn't voted. Come on, folks.
There you go. It's a tie. Son of a gun. Russ, do another poll with just those two. Take your time. Not that Russ gets so mad I didn't have an agenda for tonight, so he's just like, I'm just throwing stuff at him. Now he's struggling to keep up with my.
It's not even that. It's the fact that you usually have one, and I've got.
I know. I'm sorry. All right, so we're gonna put another poll up. You can do like 3 minutes this time, Russ, and do Ennis and cornbread.
It's not letting me to do it.
Really? Okay. Oh, you gotta delete that poll. I'll do it.
Okay. All right, delete that poll.
I got it. It's gone.
Nope.
All right. Let's see what we got here.
Side. Well, no, it's still showing up top.
I got you. Hang tight.
Okay. We'll get it.
Ennis. Conbran. Don't care if it's not Pierce.
Yeah, Battle Gnome Corey, that Texas Tony will be there, and I'm sure he will be bringing some more sample bottles. And he's actually teaching.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually going to be teaching distilling. So if you guys haven't checked into the class schedules over there about Readiness, that's when I'm on the agenda. Now Kelly is freaking. He doesn't have a preface. Darn it, Kelly!
Too late, buddy. Too late. All right, so that'll be up for 3 minutes. What if it's a tie again? Can't be. Well, I guess it really could be. But I didn't mind Quinn. I thought he was all right.
Yeah, Quinn wasn't bad. And I didn't even see who came in, I guess, second, since we had a tie for first.
Hey, it was Quinn, I believe. Peterson had some votes, too. I guess I should have made a note of that. I'll look it up. I'll look it up on the replay.
Yeah. Well, we know we can scratch Mr. Nicholson.
Yeah, it appears.
Yeah.
It should be in the chat on the top, Rev. You should be able to click on it there. Don't worry, we're not. He's not out of the woods yet. He's not out of the game yet. I hope they're not. I hope they don't watch my podcast because they're gonna be like, I'm not doing anymore for this jerk if he's gonna do this.
I don't know. Can we see who the viewers are?
No, unfortunately.
Well, if you are, sorry. Not sorry.
That's how we do things, guys. That's where we are a tribe. That's how we look. When you don't know what you're doing, you get people around you that are smarter than you, and that's
well,
been
we're
my whole...
really, you and I are really screwed then.
Well, we just got a lot of smart people around us.
That's it. That's it.
He did, Dan, and that's a little bit of my mistake because I wanted a little bit of a southern accent, but he went a little overboard on that.
All right. Only 9 votes, guys. Come on.
Oh, it's still neck and neck. Someone doesn't even care because it's not Kevin Pierce.
See, I didn't show up on mine yet. How did I vote? Oh, it just finally showed up on my screen.
That's it. So Cornbread appeared to have taken round 1 of the narrator games. So I know you like Quinn, Mama. He's not out of the woods yet, but you're skewing votes because you have no. You can't vote for Sue. Unfortunately, could you imagine Sue doing Melissa's voice? Where y'all going this week?
Hey, I'm going to ask him this week to do Melissa's voice.
Right.
Watch, that's going to happen. That's going to happen.
So that's
well,
that. That's really.
Guys like Pete.
Go ahead.
Yeah, remember, guys, like Pete said, there's going to be more of these coming out, and we'll get your votes, and then at the end we'll do a best of and see what we can do from there, and then Pete will make the final decision, or rather, Mama Tucci will.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's probably how it's going to end up going. It's weird because I didn't even, like I said, I knew Quinn was one of the better ones, and I actually starred him, but I didn't really like his stuff until I just now heard it. So, pretty cool. Other than that, guys, that's all I have, really. So we can just shoot the BS for a little bit. How long have we been on Kick? Yeah, we've only been on 1 hour and 8 minutes on Kick. So let's just shoot the BS. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what you're expecting out of... Oh, when do I have the decision?
Whenever he's ready.
Yeah. Well, I was on the phone with one of the gentlemen today because he had some other obligations ahead of him, and I won't actually sit down and obligate anybody until I get up to the North 40 writing shack, which will probably be in the middle of next month. So then, however long it takes them to put out book 1, most guys are saying they can do it in a week. I don't know. I think they'll do it in a week, and I'll say, no, I hate it, redo it. So we'll see. Well, they all did, Will. They all did, and you're right. I probably should have not have skewed that vote by saying that. Let's see. Well, here you go. Mr. Ennis says, I'm going to do it in my best narrator voice. Are you ready for this? Here we go. Mr. Ennis says, hello. Thank you for the opportunity to read for your project. I'm a huge fan of post-apocalyptic genre, and I look forward to potentially working with you and bring your incredible creation to life through audio. Please feel free to reach out. If you'd like me to re-record any portion of it, try the voices differently, anything that feels good to you, I'd be glad to. Mr. Ennis. That's Mr. Ennis's introduction. Let's see, who else do we have? Cobran. Cobran basically says, here's the audition. That's his introduction letter. Oh, all right, I appreciate that. A man of not many words like myself. So... Well, what's going on in the news, guys?
Well,
I haven't been able to, really look into the news. What's been going on in the news? I knew there were the pro-terrorist rallies going on at the universities, but other than that, I really haven't gone into the news. So, anything you'd like a little input on? Tell me what the hell's going on in the news this week.
Well, Pete, I sent you that one thing because they were just opposite ends of the spectrum. You have the Department of Justice, who has nothing better to do than to worry about the New York Police Department parking on the sidewalks because it's an EDA violation, which, to me, they would have a lot more, they should be doing a lot more with other things going on. But then on the opposite side of the spectrum, people are getting mad because people are stopping at Buc-ee's, filling up with gas, and leaving their cars parked at the gas pumps and going inside and shopping for an hour. Thoughts? What do you guys think?
Yeah, New York is a nightmare right now. Javi's living it. My buddy Javi, my brother from another mother, is living it right now. So let's pray for him. Thoughts and prayers, Javi. But yeah, no, New York City. Look, I don't even know how there's any New York City police officers left, Russ, to be honest with you. So
yeah, true that.
Let's see. So Will asked, did you see the question at the beginning of the chat about Ukrainian flag waving? Yeah, I did see that in Congress after the appropriations bill was passed. And did you also see that the sergeant in arms threatened to fine anybody videoing it $500? But of course, $500 to crooked politicians doesn't mean anything. But rather than the sergeant in arms fighting that the Ukrainian flag was being flown in the Capitol building, he's going to threaten to fine people who are actually videoing what takes place in the Capitol building. So, yeah, I did see that, Will. What's, yeah.
You see, Javi?
Yeah.
This is the best part right here, though.
Yeah, tell him how you just tell him you're from the free state of Florida, and well, you know what you got to do. Although they might have thought they flew you in to protest, they don't know. She, of course, he says she fits right in. How dare you say that about my sister, Javi? Buzz, I think we're called the ball, Russ. It'll be an early night. We are going to see Baby Girl in the morning.
Yep. So we have a plays event tomorrow, state championship for our team. So
yeah, so sorry guys, it was so short tonight, and we did an hour and 15 minutes. Not bad for not having an agenda, but it's a saw cute okay.
That's like wash your sister sauce.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Chrissy has a problem saying charcuterie.
Evidently.
Apparently. I won't tell you what we called those at the fire department. It's not safe for ears. And since we're on all the platforms right now, I definitely don't want to go there.
Yeah. But hey, Pete, we'll be seeing each other in about, 3-4 days now.
We will, sir. We are
Absolutely
driving up. I look forward to it. We will be there Wednesday afternoon at some point. I drive
We'll
like a
have
little
your
old
spot
lady.
waiting
What's that?
I said, we'll have your spot waiting on you.
Yeah, do that because I'm sure I will be grumpy from the ride, and I'll probably need some sort of whiskey.
Got it covered.
And plus, well, let's wait till I back up that monster of a rig I'm driving. So.
And for those of you that have not seen the lovely Daisy in a minute, she's bigger than Matilda now. So.
Yeah, those dogs are growing like weeds. So, guys, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you for spending your Friday evening with us. I'm glad that Restream appeared to have worked on all the platforms. Normally, those of you that are watching on the other platforms, we'll do an after show on Kick. But since we have a short night tonight, we're not going to do that. So come over to kick.com/Pete-Robertucci. Make sure you follow us there because we typically will do an after show, and most of our giveaways and stuff like that will be on there. So, Russ, you know the deal. Be safe.
Yeah.
If you can't be safe, be dangerous. Night, guys.